Hi everyone, Howard Berg, World's Fastest Reader. You're going to get very excited today as I share with you some strategies that help to double the learning performance of students in my school, and I'll show you how to begin using it in your school as well. Are you ready? Strap on your seatbelt and let's get started. First, I'd like to show you a brief video that introduces you to some of my work.
I grew up in the projects in Brooklyn. You're not expected to become anybody special. You're not destined to create anything spectacular. People will always tell you you can't. You're not smart enough. You're too slow. You aren't good enough. Well, I'm here to tell you, it doesn't matter where you're from. It doesn't matter how old you are. The moment you decide to apply the principles that I'm going to share with you today, you will achieve spectacular things.
Can you believe it? You could double, even triple your reading time just by taking one 4-hour lesson.
Well, my next guest seems to have all the answers. His name is Howard Stephen Berg. Howard Stephen Berg is listed in the Guinness Book of Records as the world's fastest reader, which is quite an accomplishment, something like 25,000 words per minute.
Mr. Berg is going to give us a few of the reading secrets of the world's fastest reader.
Being able to read a book in 10 or 15 minutes or even less. Our guest today says that he can do that. He says he can teach you to do it too.
Well, you're not going to believe this, but after timing and calculating, guess what? Trish now reads at a rate of 715 words per minute, which is more than double what she could read before she took the course. Are you amazed?
I am amazed.
It's really a revolutionary breakthrough.
And a lot of folks have been calling and emailing, is he really fast reading? We're not pulling anything over your eyes. He is really doing it.
And it shows when you make up your mind to accomplish something, it doesn't matter what other people think. You have the power to make it real. And that's what this is about, helping people achieve their dreams. That's what moves me. That's what motivates me.
All right, well, with that, let's get started. We're going to learn revolutionary brain-based learning strategies. Here's one of my students, Micah, who passed the California bar exam at 19. Was that a fluke? His brother's 22 and an attorney and a flight instructor and now a pilot for Alaska Airlines. His 15-year-old sister's in a first-year law school, will be the youngest person in history to pass the bar in California. And his 17-year-old brother will be the second oldest student to pass the bar in California. All using some of the strategies I'm going to share with you today. It all started back in Brooklyn. I grew up in the projects, a really very dangerous place. The safest place in my neighborhood was the library. The gang kids treated libraries like vampires treat churches. They didn't go there. I read a lot. By the time I was 11, I had college reading. I went to college at 17 and attended the State University of New York, Binghamton. I majored in biology. My junior year, I got interested in the brain and learning. So I said to the dean, I want to do two majors, psych and bio. And he looked at me and said, you're a junior. You haven't had any psych courses. You'll have to do the whole 4-year program in 1 year. And frankly, you're not smart enough. And that's when it hit me. They don't teach learning in school. Tell you what to learn, why to learn, and what will happen when you don't learn. But not why you hear a song once on the radio, could sing it your whole life. Then you read a book like The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and the next day you don't remember any of the habits. I thought there had to be a way to learn things that matter, the way we learn those songs. It turns out there was, and I did the 4-year program in 1 year by taking 6 science courses a term with 2 labs. And I had 3 part-time jobs. I also scored an 800 on the GRE in biology by memorizing 48 books in 3 nights like biochemistry, cell physiology, and plant systematics. And as a result, I was able to do many other things in my life and found I could actually teach this to other people. I taught science and computers in both junior and senior high schools in New York in the inner city schools for 10 years. And then I co-founded the New American School. It was a private online school for homeschoolers, high school and junior high. And that's where we really were able to hone these skills for schools. I was also a Red Cross swim instructor for 18 years. I've been teaching companies around the world accelerated learning for 30 years. And I've done thousands of workshops and over 1,100 media appearances. Nightingale Conant sold over $65 million worth of my programs. And we did a double-blind efficacy study using the Nelson Denny with 100 random people, and everyone doubled or quadrupled in 4 hours with no loss of comprehension. My Time Warner book, Super Reading Secrets, is in its 28th reprint. And Barron's Books called and requested me to write a book for students on speed reading and learning. I hadn't even sent them a proposal. They had already picked me as the leading expert on the subject. Been on over 1,100 shows. I helped launch Comedy Central with Jon Stewart, and I was his first guest on TV, as well as I was on Dennis Leary's first show, which was 14 shows on Comedy Central, and I was on 7 out of 14. Very exciting. This is me with Justin Timberlake, Amy Sedaris, and Peyton Manning. Sony chose me as the spokesperson, and that's how fast I read. That was the healthcare bill on Cavoodle, which I read in just 50 minutes. It was 1,500 pages. So while you're viewing this, think about how many ways this could help your school and your students succeed. Let's begin with the first problem, information overload. Did you know more is printed each week than all human history through the year 1800? And every 6 months, the information in the world doubles. People only read about 200 words a minute. No wonder they're struggling. And all that information is now accessible online. I'm going to show you how to begin increasing reading speed by 10 to 30% in just 5 minutes time. Pick a book you've read, preferably nonfiction. Go to the first chapter, read at your normal speed using a timer, time yourself for a minute, and at the end of the minute, see where you finished and mark off with a pencil where you finished. So now you have an assessment of how far you can read in a minute. Now the secret sauce. Go to the second chapter. Use your hand and go one line at a time from the left to the right margin all the way across, one line at a time. The secret here is as long as you're comprehending, keep speeding up till you don't know what you're reading. And then slow down just enough so your comprehension comes back. And then go all the way across and not down the middle. One line at a time, eyes following your hand as fast as you could comprehend for 5 minutes. Go back to the first chapter. Test yourself for a minute again, and you'll blow past the original line by using your hand by as much as 20 to 30%. Yes, it's that simple to get started, and that's actually the first step in the reading program. Wouldn't you agree comprehension is far more important than speed? And that's why I was focused more on how to understand and read faster. I needed to learn 6 science courses at the same time. And the secret to comprehension is in a single word called schema. Schema is what you know already before you even begin reading, which enables you to read text in a book. Let me demonstrate precisely how this works. Here's a passage that has no schema. Watch how confusing it is as we read it together. This is an easy thing to do. Many people are able to do this at an early age. Be careful not to rush or you may have a serious problem. Right now it doesn't make much sense because there's no schema. On the next page there's a title that has schema. And watch how instantly the same text that was confusing becomes effortlessly understood. Bike riding. This is an easy thing to do. Many people are able to do this at an early age. Be careful not to rush or you may have a serious problem. Learn it by yourself, but probably want someone to help you. And now it's effortlessly read because we have schema, the word bike riding. What I do is I train students on how to find the schema on the page. It's like the secret decoder ring. It makes the meaning pop so all the other words on the page begin to make sense, even in very technical subjects. For me, genetics, biochemistry, cell physiology, and I still learn it very well enough to get an 800 on the GRE, which put me in the 99th percentile in the world. You might think maybe all these kids are geniuses. This is Justin. He was a C student when he entered the program. Good, solid C student. He graduated high school at 15, got his associate's degree at 17, his bachelor's at 19, his master's in English at 21. Justin became a college professor in Tarrant Community College when he was only 22 years old. How many 22-year-old college professors have you met? Especially that started off as C students. When you give students the right tools for learning, amazing things happen, even for average learners. Now, this is the most important skill of all, and it's called emotional intelligence. And to teach this skill, I'm going to come back onto the screen and I'm going to demonstrate. I'm back. What we need to learn. Let me see if I can't put this in the middle or make it bigger. I'm not sure I can. Oh, it doesn't want to cooperate, which is no big shock. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate to you a little skill on emotional intelligence. This is probably the single most important skill in learning. Imagine I'm training you how to drive. You're ready to pass the road test. I tell you to take the test and you failed. Why? Because it was a test. You got nervous. How many of your students underperform because of test anxiety? That's an emotional intelligence issue. I'm going to show you how to create more energy. This could be critical when they're taking standardized tests. Often while taking SATs or PSATs, students get bored and then they just start circling answers and not getting the score they're capable of because they're just too tired. What if it was possible to create energy whenever you needed it, during a test, during a class? I'm going to show you how to create an emotional state. For this one exercise, I need you to stand. Just for this one exercise, I need to sit or you won't see me. Now we know the left side of the brain controls what part of our body? The right. The right controls what part? The left. Now I'm going to show you how to get unlimited energy. I want you to take your left hand, touch your right shoulder, do it. Right hand, touch your left, alternating right and left. Sort of like the Macarena without music. We're going to do the same thing. Watch your knees and touch your left hand to your right knee and your right hand to your left, alternating. Perfect. Perfect. Raise your right hand, squeeze your thumb, and say this like you mean it. I feel great. Say it like you mean it. I feel great. And now pull your hand down with passion and say, yes. You have to feel it for it to be real. We're going to do 3 sets of these, and when you're done, I'll show you how to use this to trigger a sense of being more awake and more aware. Perfect for standardized tests. When you have to teach classes or go to school, a lot of your teachers go to classes after school to get more credits and get tired because they worked all day. It's perfect in every one of these situations. So whether it's for a student or for an instructor and faculty, it'll work. We're going to start with the shoulder taps. Go at my speed. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Knees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How do you feel? I feel great. Yes. Perfect. A little faster. Second round. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How do you feel? I feel great. Yes. All out as fast as you can go. Watch your knees. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How do you feel? I feel great. Yes. Give yourselves a big hand. Smile. Sit down and feel great. Do you know what happens when you do this 3 times? Nothing. Now you probably would like something. So let me show you how that works. Remember Pavlov rang a bell, fed a dog. Rang a bell, fed a dog. Rang a bell, the dog drooled. You don't want to drool, but you do want to feel great. And you want your students to feel great. The latest studies show it takes 90 days to create a habit, not 30 like we used to learn. If you do this slow, medium, fast shoulder and leg tapping each morning. What you're doing is you're squeezing your thumb when you're feeling more alert and saying, I feel great, yes. And after 90 days, this becomes a trigger. So now they're taking an SAT test and need a burst of energy. They don't want to have them do this in the middle of a test that looks weird. But they can grab their thumb and say, I feel great, yes. And the brain remembers the state that they created every time they did that. The same way we could train students to relax, to focus, to concentrate. All the emotional states vital for success in their classroom could be created ahead of time and then elicited when they actually need them. Isn't that simple? And it's fun, and that's the whole thing. Learning should be fun. I'm going to go back to the slides now. There. And whiteboard, screen share. We'll go to our entire screen. We'll share it, and we are back. Okay, perfect. So here's where we left off, and we'll continue from here. Here's some of the students that were in my program. This is Alex. He did high school biology in 1 week. He said, how well did he do? His final test was 300 essays, like explain the genetic code and how it works. He got 3 questions wrong. This is Tasha. She graduated high school at 19. That doesn't sound very impressive. As a junior in college on a full scholarship with a 4.0. Stephen was a Duke Talent finalist. One student in 500 would be great. We had, actually one student in 5,000 would be great. We had 5 students in 500. So we did very well using what we taught. But this is the story I really want you to listen to. Erin's brother, the little girl in the green, has Downs. So these youngsters, aged 11 to 15, decided to start a company to raise money to find a cure for Down syndrome. And in their first year of business, using the entrepreneurial skills they learned from us, they raised $93,000 for Down's research. Remember, these are 11 to 15-year-olds. And they won the Silver Pyramid, which is the Academy Award in advertising, as the best not-for-profit company in America. That's the kind of skills we're training students on. So they can get great grades now and start their own businesses when they get out of college. We also taught them how to eliminate writer's block. We had a Judeo-Christian private school. So we gave this, my business partner, Dr. Beasley, had a PhD in theology, and he was teaching a graduate level seminary class. And he wanted to see how well my students did. He gave them a 28-page report using MLA citations on the book of Matthew. These students, aged 11 to 15, did it in 4 hours. And then he took the tests, the reports, to the dean of the seminary, the graduate program. Told him he was having trouble grading papers because he was busy. Could he help him out? Without telling him these were the youngsters aged 11 to 15. When he got the grades back, he was astounded. The dean gave 2 of the students second-year graduate credit, 2 of the students first-year graduate credit, and the rest got senior credit. And he said, you know, it's a graduate program. We really expected better grades. And that's when he found out the oldest student he had graded was 15, and the youngest was 11. Graduate school level work while you're in high school or junior high school. That's what we're teaching our students to do. And the best part, it's replicable. You could be doing the same with your students. Math magic. One of the toughest subjects to teach is often math. Students often fear it and they don't learn it. I'm going to show you how easy math is. Here's a problem. 103 times 107. Using my system, you should already have the answer without a calculator by doing it in your head in 3 seconds. Sounds hard? Not when you know how. Let me show you the secret. Notice both of these numbers are greater than 100 and both of these numbers are close to 100. How much greater than 100 is 103? 3. How much greater than 100 is 107? 7. So write down the two differences next to the numbers, 3 and 7. And then just multiply the two differences. 3 times 7 is 21. How hard was that? Super easy, and that's the hard step. The next step is even easier. Add diagonally. 103 plus 7 is 110. Or the other way. 107 plus 3 is how much? 110. Notice the answers are the same, so whichever way you add, that's easier, do it, because the answers are always the same. Write down your answer, 110. 103 times 107 is 11,021. How hard was that? What's the beauty of this? If you have students who say math is too hard and they can't do it, and they just did this, they can no longer believe they can't do it. That's an emotional intelligence issue, a false belief. Once you've empowered them to do things like this, they no longer can believe that math is too hard, and you can now teach them other types of math as well. Like Stephen. Stephen graduated the University of Texas, Arlington at 16 with a major in economics and had a perfect 4.0 grade point average. He went to OU at 18 for a master's degree in math and graduated at 19 with a 3.97 GPA. Funny story, he got all A's except one B in his last course. And he said, what do I tell my mom? I've never gotten a B before. I said, Stephen, you graduated at 16 with a 4.0 majoring in economics. You have a master's degree in math at 19 with a 3.97 GPA. I think she's going to keep you. And a happy ending. His mother kept him. Isn't this the kind of results you want for your students? We taught them group study strategies. That's how they were able to do the developmental psychology course in 1 week. And by the way, this could be applied to any content area in your school, from religious studies to any secular studies, science, English, social sciences. Every subject that you teach could be taught using these strategies and accelerate the rate at which students learn, make it easier for your teachers to succeed. It's just an all-around benefit. And many of your students will graduate with college credits that they might not have earned using traditional methods. Like my student Brad, he graduated from Thomas Edison, which is a popular school among many homeschoolers, in 6 months. And then he learned Chinese in 3 weeks and became a missionary. What a wonderful story. I was so excited. And Brad and I worked together for many years. He was teaching my programs in Korea. And I loved that I was able to help children in another country become more literate using my program. Your faculty can apply these same learning principles to your existing curriculum, making your school a better value for any parent. My students graduated with an average of 20 to 45 college credits. So they have so much less to take in college. The money they saved going to your school almost pays for the tuition. Here's some of those youngsters. Elizabeth Griffith graduated from UT Dallas at 19. Faith McGee, Southwestern Assembly of God at 19. Hope McGee, Oral Roberts at 18. Masters at Dallas Baptist at 19. Jennifer Sklar, UT Dallas 19. Medical School at 20. Sean Carver, National Merit Scholar, UT Dallas 19. Preston Horn 20. These are amazing results. Justin Cargill 19. This is the kind of results we want to see for your students. I'm currently negotiating with Thailand to train 5,000 teachers. This is me in a previous trip to Thailand working with college professors and business professionals. Now they want me to train 5,000 teachers. This is me with the Trinidad Minister of Science. The Minister of Education was interested in having me train all of the teachers in Trinidad on my system. This was me in Denmark training my program. And in Norway, that was a TV appearance. I also did a multi-city tour to teach my strategies. I've worked all around the world. Imagine giving your students the Howard Berg Edge. I would like to offer you a risk-free pilot program so you can prove the results for yourself, experience what I've demonstrated my students do in your school so you know for certain that this program is what you've been looking for and can provide the solution they need to succeed in their information-rich world, to get higher grades and succeed academically now and professionally later. You could reach me right now at 214-952-9150. 214-952-9150. I'm based in McKinney, Texas. I work all around the world, but I'm right in your backyard. Let's speak soon about how my programs can help your students, and let me prove to you that this is the solution they need and you've been looking for. Thank you so much for taking the time, for allowing me to share some of the strategies that have made me the world's fastest reader. And I look forward to working with your students and your faculty to make them the best they possibly could be. Till then, this is Howard Berg, the world's fastest reader, wishing you and yours the best of success. Call now, 214-952-9150.